Hi, good morning or good evening, wherever you are. I'm Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. We're here for our meditation a day, and our very special guest today is Susan Kennard. She's supposed to be here. She's got a message for us today, and I can't wait to hear what it is. Susan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me once again, Ruth. I love coming on this energetic show. I love it. The energy of it, and the angels always conspire to get us together, even if it might not be exactly at the time we planned.
Exactly right. Well, Susan, you may have the floor. We are ready for you.
Sure. Well, one of the things that I would like to do this evening in this short time that we have together is to do a meditation for the body, because the body is the barometer for the soul. And so when we think about our soul and we think about our physical body and obviously our mind as well, but there is no separation with any of it. And it's my belief, and this is my background as a spiritual scientist, so looking at the evidence, that we actually come in to remember that our body was a barometer. And the barometer is for, are we loving ourselves? Are we in alignment with unconditional love of ourselves? And are we aligned to our true, beautiful mission that we chose this time? And so each time that we're slightly out of alignment with unconditional love of ourselves, it's easy to give it to others, but to actually receive it for ourselves is very different. Or if we're out of alignment with the true reason of why we chose to come here at this time. And that's different to a purpose, because I feel we all have the same purpose, which is to remember who we are and to create more light in the world and within us. And so what the guides want to do this evening is to really take you through a beautiful meditation to access those messages in the body. But also what they tell me is that they want to do a DNA upgrade. And so we all have a unique code within our DNA. And so it's really important for us to keep our DNA really pure and clear. And so one of the ways that we can do that is by, keeping our alignment to our true self-love, really our unique aspect of ourselves. So the guides will come in, and it's sometimes a high-pitched sound. So sometimes people can't hear it because it's so high-pitched, and sometimes it's low, and it just depends on which guides want to come in for you listening, which guides want to come in to do an upgrade with the DNA. And they tell me that this DNA upgrade is really so that we can reach more consciousness. So being much more conscious of our messages in our body and really making choices from a place of empowerment. So we always want to make choices for our body and our life from a place of empowerment, rather than a place of perhaps fear or somebody else's choice for us. Okay. And we can see that reflecting quite strongly at the moment in the collective. So it's really important that we stay true to ourselves and true to our own inner guidance. So if you'd like to just take a really beautiful breath in through your nose and close your eyes and put both hands on your heart, settled on your heart if that's possible. I always seem to have one on my heart and one holding the space, and this is how the guides show me with my energy, but you may feel more comfortable putting both hands on your heart. And just start to imagine that beautiful golden light that is expanding throughout the heart center, through every breath, in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just expand that golden light through each breath, through every single cell. And so imagine that each one of your cells is filling up with this beautiful healing light, sparkling, connecting with that true knowing And watch as the whole of your body starts to expand into this light, and you start to remember that you are pure divine light, that there is no separation, that we are part of the unified light of consciousness, and that we chose to have a physical body at this time to carry our soul's mission. And just to imagine that that golden light that you are is expanding out into the room that you're sitting in, and expanding out further and further. And then I want you to imagine that there is a beautiful star underneath your feet. And this star is your Earth star. This is your connection to manifesting in human form. So just feel into that Earth star. Feel into that connection. How does it feel to you? Do you feel grounded in this earth plane? And if you don't feel grounded, just imagine that your golden light is going further down into the ground. And you start to feel that sense of being connected to Mother Earth and connected to that real part of you that chose to be human, to be supported by Mother Earth in anything you choose to be, create, experience. And feel how it feels to be connected to Mother Earth. And then I want you to imagine that above your head is another star. And this star is your soul star. And this is your connection to your true source consciousness. From the crown of your head up to your soul star. This is where all the wisdom from all of the times before is held. And I want you to imagine that you can bring all of that wisdom, and we can give it a color. Let's give it a rainbow golden color. Coming down from your soul star all the way through you. And this rainbow golden color allows you to connect more deeply with your cells, with the DNA, this unique code that you brought in this time to hold your mission, to carry out that beautiful expansion of light in whichever way you chose. So just feel into your cells at this time and listen to your higher self. What do I need to know? What is my body trying to tell me? Just listen for a moment. Remember to breathe. Remember to bring that light in. Every breath is taking in the breath of life into every single cell. So this is a meditation that you can do many times to access the messages in your body. So before we do the DNA upgrade, just really thank yourself and give yourself gratitude for being here and listening to that beautiful vehicle, that body, listening to that part of you that sometimes gets forgotten, on the journey. So what the guides are giving me is just this amazing word, gratitude, in front of me. And I want you to imagine that that word, gratitude, is now filling up your heart space. That your heart field just becomes pure gratitude. Gratitude of yourself. Gratitude of this body that you chose. And even if your body is showing you messages, you're feeling that your body is not feeling the best it could feel. Just know that your body is talking to you at all times, without judgment, without fear. Just be in that space where you can listen. Okay, so I wish to bring in this DNA upgrade. And so what they're showing me, I see the Galactics coming in here and stepping into the energy field. So I want you to imagine that you could see the DNA within your cells. Imagine what DNA looks like. And just create that picture in your mind. As this tone comes in, I want you to connect with what happens for you. Maybe the colors change, maybe the size changes, maybe you're given some insight into a part of your mission that you really didn't know or you hadn't remembered. Okay, so just be ready to receive and just observe. And even if you can't see clairvoyantly, just feel into the energy shift as you know that your DNA is being upgraded to a higher consciousness. So just be there for a few moments while you connect with maybe what you experience, what you can see. And come back into your heart space. And just know that today what you've experienced is a deeper connection to listening to your body. An open door to understanding that your body is a barometer for your soul. And a feeling and a sense of more peace with ease and grace in your day or your night. And so it is.
Thank you, Susan. That was so interesting. So interesting. I just want to share really quickly. So at first I was feeling and seeing like gold, platinum sparkles.
Yeah.
And then I felt like a chill from the inside out. It was really intriguing, always interesting. Yeah. So you said you were experiencing the galactics come in. And so when you use the term galactics, what are you referring to?
Different ones come in, but today specifically, I saw the Palladians come in, but who came in between there? So you might have noticed there were different tones. Yeah. So it was the being from the Thousand Suns that comes in and the high tone. So the thousand suns, and then the Pleiadians, and then once again the being from the thousand suns. So it's almost like there had to be 3 codes that were happening, and I never know until I do it what, and then they show me whilst I'm doing it. But of course I can't speak because the sound's coming through me. But if I could speak, what I was seeing, and I see this a lot in people's DNA at the moment when they're really on their mission, is I see lots of golden balls of light. So I see the beautiful oscillation of the DNA, but I also see golden lights in it, and that shows me a higher consciousness, as we have the carbon aspect of our DNA, and we have the God gene, I suppose we'd say, the consciousness part. And this is just my opinion, and it's what the guides show me. But I have also trained in meta health and naturopathy. So I kind of have a background of science as well. So I know how that looks. But for me, I get shown it where there's more color. So what I was seeing as well is that they're not really colors that I can really explain to you, because they're colors that aren't here. And you know what I mean by that. So it's just colors that are all intermingled, and you can't really give them a color. But the sense I got was just this expansion. And I think what they were doing was they were coming in on 3 waves, and it wasn't like a new strand. It was just an expansion. So it's being more expanded to our consciousness. And I believe this is about ascension, and ascension just isn't one day or 1 year, is it? Ascension is who we are as an expanded being of light. But I feel it was an upgrade of that, even though I didn't know it was about ascension at that time. That's what they were showing me. So I hope people had fun with it. Did you experience it yourself?
I did. It was really interesting. I might get goosebumps. I don't get chills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very different because paying attention to it was like, no, that's cold. What is that?
Yeah. And I see, when I work with people with messages in their body, disease, whatever you want to call it, I see a difference in DNA, and I see different aspects into the cell. So I can see what's held in the cell in the sense of grief, fear, sadness, whatever it might be. And that comes as a color to me. And then I look at the DNA, and this seems to be happening more and more these days. And it's a good way to be able to see in on what's going on in somebody.
So interesting. We have three of our hosts actually that are dealing with significant health concerns right now. So is that something that they could call on you for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've worked with, Meta Health is looking at, it's German new medicine, but essentially what it is looking at the shock and trauma connected to brain relays, connected to the part of the body. And for example, we're seeing a lot of skin issues at the moment. And what that is about, a lot of rashes and so on, is about our feeling of trying to connect and not be separated. So the skin shows the separation, healing of the separation. So it's second phase. It's very, scientific, but essentially if someone has a rash, it's the cortex part of the brain, which is to do with territorial separation. So when I see a rash with someone, I know they've made an acceptance, so they're not separated anymore. And the same with eczema in babies, it's usually about birth trauma. And the baby's saying, well, I'm actually not separated, I'm okay, but they're still holding the trauma of it. Yeah. So it's fascinating how we can look at that. So dis-ease, I work with many people, and I work with the message of cancer as well. So, it's I think a lot of bodies at the moment are doing a really big, shift of consciousness, and they're trying to release the toxicity. And toxicity is emotional toxicity and physical and chemical, of course, pharma toxicity as well. So it's all coming out to be healed so that we can raise our vibration to this new level of ascension. And sometimes we get stuck in that we're connected to our guides. We might be connected to being a channel or a healer, but we forget about the body, and the body's obviously got to line up energetically with our mission, because we chose it, right, to carry us around. And so that physical body is showing all of those old messages. And I think with what's going on in the world, we're seeing a lot of childhood trauma coming to the surface to be healed, of feelings of restriction and fear and all of the stuff. So I just think it's a reflection, and some anger as well, and it's a reflection of what's really showing up for people. So absolutely, anyone that has any messages in their body, absolutely, I can help them. And I have a free video course which is called Awaken the Light, and if people just go over to my website and fill in the pop-up box, and my website susankennard.co.uk, and fill in the pop-up box, you get an email with a link which is my free video course. There's also another meditation, connecting with the Akashics, that's on there as well, but the halls of learning. But the video course takes you through many videos, and one of them is connecting with your body. So it might help people if they want to do some self-work as well.
Perfect. So remind me again, susankennard.com?
It's .co.uk. So we call it co.uk here in the UK, but I know you guys say co.uk. So that's why I said it that way, because or else it gets lost sometimes. But just my name, my name's Susan Kennard with 2 N's, and people will find me across all social media. But yeah, that's the best way to contact me, is to join that list, and they instantly get that video link, so they can go on and sign up for the video link.
Perfect. Yeah. That is so perfect for us today. Can you tell me, I have not heard the phrase being from the thousand suns.
I know. So the being from the thousand suns came in at the time when I started doing light language. And what happened was the Pleiadians came in first and started to say that they wanted to talk through me or sing through me. And I was like, no, thank you. You're not going to do that. It was a few years ago. I was like, no, that's not the next part of my mission. And so with me, as you know, Ruth, I resist everything for ages. And then eventually I'm like, okay, I surrender. And so the Pleiadians came in, and the Arcturians come in, and the deities, Mother Mary comes in. And then when we started bringing in activation on a higher level, I saw this beautiful golden energy just kind of right in front of me. And I was told, and I was shown all of these different suns, and normally you would say moons, but it was suns, and it was connected to a much further universal multiverse, not where our great central sun is, but further than that we wouldn't ever know about. And I was told that being from the thousand suns. So then this energy came through, and I checked it out so much, before I actually used it with people. So I checked it out with friends, I checked it out with some of my groups, and we were clearing stuff really quickly. So we might have something we wanted to clear, and then all of a sudden it was gone through just this one activation. So I was like, wow, that's really cool. So now he comes in, he meaning masculine energy, comes in when there is a significant upgrade needed. And he seems to come in with mission readings and, whatever people need. But yeah, I haven't seen him for a few days. So it was kind of interesting to see him pop in predominantly with this DNA upgrade. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you at some point. We have our new channel, which is EWN One with the Earth. And One with the Earth is not just things that happen on our planet. It also is inclusive of the galactic groups coming in. Yeah. I'm getting goosebumps even as I'm saying that. I would love for you to come back in, even just for a one-time thing, and teach us more about that being from the thousand suns, and do an event, a session about that. I think that would be
okay. So and it would be channeled. I mean, it would be that they would come in, and I would say, could you just come and explain why you're coming in to work with me at this time, and are you working with lots of other people? Because often, like Archangel Michael, for example, will work with lots of people. So I presume that the being from the thousand suns will work with many people. And because you're interested, it would probably say that It's probably working with lots of people that you know as well. It's just maybe not been labeled,
right,
or even, connected. And so, yeah, it'd be really, really helpful for people to know. And for me to hear the history, I tend to just trust it and say, oh, okay, thanks for that. And then test it out and just see, what they're coming in to do. But I honestly feel that the time is now for us to bring these beautiful galactic beings that have always been around, and they're just really supporting what's going on in this awakening that's going on in the planet, and really want to come in and just support everything. And light always wins, right? So the more we invite this beautiful light to come into our lives, the more we can really have this ease and grace, I feel.
excellent. And folks, this is how things work on Enlightened World Network, that we get a little glimmer of something and we say, oh, we want to know more about that. Teach
Yeah.
us more about that. That's
Yeah.
exactly how this works.
Well, I will do whatever I can do to help anyone understand a bit more about the galactics. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Susan, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank you
our
so much for
friends
having
here
me.
at Enlightened World Network, we're so glad you're here with us. Thank you for being along for the ride. We're here for you, and your participation in this community means a great deal. We are all on this journey together in our own way, but we're all just finding our way back home.
Exactly. And that home comes from within, and we don't need to go back home to go home, do we?
Right. We don't. It's right here.
Yeah. And
All time.
sometimes a deep message in our body is that opportunity to come home.
Right. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.
Friends, we'll see you soon here on Enlightened World Network. Take good care and God
Bye.